Oh boy. Oh boy. Did the bullish CVDs play out? At least I'm happy I gave a warning about the CVDs, but I didn't see it coming this quick, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. What's up, everyone? How are you doing? The longest minute in my life. How are you doing, Sibel? Okay, welcome everyone. Yo, approaching 83.5k. Let's see what happens there. Area of interest. And it will be interesting then also, of course, to see if price can give us a little bit of clarity here at resistance. Well, anyway, in this live stream, we will cover the waves and just observe local price action. What I am looking for, I actually happen to be in a long, but not really Elliott waves related. It was mainly CVD related. So, I mean, I spoke about CVD in my previous video, and in the probabilities I highlighted, be aware, mindful of bullish CVD divergences, and 83k resistance, and the double top was in there as well. Of course, 68k as well. But keep an eye on those bullish CVDs. And locally, this is the 5-minute time frame. We had some more bullish CVDs over here as price was moving up a bit more at the moment. And yeah, that was pretty much like we had a 3-wave move down, another move up, supported then by bullish CVDs. I was like, well, if this is a 3-wave structure to the downside, this is a 3-wave structure to the downside. I was like, okay, I'm looking for price to take the high, and then out of nowhere we find ourselves at 82.7k. Jeez, I haven't taken profit yet actually, but we almost at at resistance. So let's see what price does. The biggest volume was in this move to the upside. So of course, if we look at an impulse, right, couple of 1-2s, couple of 4-5s is then what you're looking for. The question is, when does the impulse start? Do we count it from here, or are we counting this as a 3-wave? Well, I'll explain things in a second, but for now, approaching resistance, putting the stop loss in a little profit. So to be exact, the entry was 77,537.58. Anyway, now we'll see what we get. So cool. We are going to talk waves. We're going to talk about the chart. We will observe the resistance here together. And yeah, gonna have a good time, no? Sibel, Milo, AJ, welcome. Versin, I have a complete on the numbers crypto. This is maybe the bottom. Yeah, I also have a completed one, both a WXY as well as a diagonal. I just showed the diagonal in the video, because the thing is, if you have multiple scenarios leading to a similar conclusion, it is better for me as a creator to show one of those scenarios that leads to price moving in that direction, instead of showing 2, 3, or 4 scenarios where the direction is exactly the same. You know what I mean? And the diagonal has the potential, of course, to finish at the current low. And then you want to see price move up, of course, preferably a diagonal, but I have a little surprise. So, yeah. And then as price moves up, and, you know, if you do pass the resistance, you're going to move above 88.8 and la-di-la-di-la, right? Like everyone is like, yes, we move to the upside, hype, hype, hype. Oh, is the low in? Is the low not in? Like ta-ta-ta. We will discuss this. But please be aware that, yes, we have a bit of a move up. It's nothing spectacular, right? We have some news with the tariffs and whatever is happening in the US. We are approaching resistance. We focus here on what's happening on the chart. And we're currently not at support, right? If you flip some resistance in support, there might be a new opportunity. Locally, we now approach resistance. Okay, not support. Sibel, welcome. Welcome to silver. Wow. The day that Sibel is silver. Sibel Netherlands, no? Welcome, Sibel. Thanks for popping in and becoming a silver member. You probably filled in the form, so we will get you sorted afterwards, at least after the live stream. But thanks for the support, Sibel. I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Sibel. Welcome, AJ, Mark. Okay, let's have a chat, shall we? Let's have a chat. We're gonna cover the chart, and are we gonna start on the? Yeah, let's start on the 4 hour, because with this move, of course, some stuff changed, and then we jump to the lower time frames very soon. What is this? Oh yeah, okay. What is this? Okay, that's stuff for later in the live stream. Cool. So. Right now, the past couple of days, in case you let me show this. Can I show it like this? Oh wait, let me go to my. I want to show something. So the past few days on YouTube, right? If I go to the videos, the past few days, we have at least considered looking for a move up. You can just read the thumbnails, I suppose. I mean, they're all relatively similar. Of course, when we were still in the range here, it was a bit nicer to after the weekend. I mean, Monday we were below this low anyway, so we took the low. But yeah, as explained in previous live streams as well, it is interesting to start looking for swing longs, no? Not swing shorts. The question is, of course, how to manage everything. Do we still take out this low? From an Elliott wave point of view, yeah, definitely interesting. Double bottom there. But at least we are, of course, in areas of interest, even though in the video, my area of interest was actually a little bit lower there. But nonetheless, we are in interesting areas. So let's see what price does with this local move up and see if it can push through resistance, yes or no. But let's cover stuff from an Elliott wave point of view. Now, this scenario, in the past few videos and live streams, I'm not a big fan, and I have explained in live streams generally why as well. Everyone looking at the same thing. It just begs the question, how often does that happen, that it then nicely plays out? At the moment, price then moved up over here and touched the 618. I wasn't looking at an impulse anymore for wave A, so you divert to a diagonal instead of an impulse, which basically means not as low, right? Impulse would be a multi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. A diagonal limits the downside. But then for a diagonal, preferably you didn't touch the 0.7, which you now did. So that lowers the probabilities for the diagonal, right? Because the 0.7 is relevant for a WXY, and X touched the 0.7. I mean, of course, now we took the high, but just to, I suppose, make that clear. Now, that begs then the question, right? Can you put your wave 2 here? And this is where I had to think about the 49K low for the ones that know, right? Price never goes up in a straight line, right? We went from 49 to 65 or something, I believe, and then down to 52, 53, and then we went up to, 69, like something like that, and then slowly grinded up, and then we got the impulse up, right? So there's always time to join, and that's I want to highlight. Trading psychology is important to me. I always talk about it. When you get stuff like this, if you are not positioned, if you did not expect something like this to happen, do not FOMO, right? Don't let it get the better of you, because 9 times out of 10, you're at the wrong place, right? Your RR is not good. You accidentally long the exact high, and then, oops, I didn't see the resistance, and poof, down you go. Right, it's generally more luck than wisdom. Like when one enters based on emotions, when pumps are actually happen. It can go right. It can go terribly wrong. You will probably think I'm stupid if price just continues up and you're like, well, I actually wanted to buy here. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying what I learned in my journey. But there's always a next better, not necessarily news volatility related opportunity. I bet many people at 49K thought, fuck, price is leaving. There we go. 100K next, baby. And then what happens? Well, first of all, we topped a little bit at 62. Then we hear 65. And then you find yourself back at 53. Right? And then, oh, there we go. And back again. 59. Right? Takes a little bit of time. Price doesn't move in a straight line. So if you're not part of such moves, and it's also not a problem, it gives you more clarity, right? If price can take out a couple of highs, maybe take out 88.8K, that's nice. That's nice. Why? Right? First of all, you need to get through resistance. Let's take it step by step. But if it gives you a little bit of clarity, because then the bias on higher time frames can also change more towards, okay, right? We're actually looking, maybe you get a very clear impulsive structure. You can look for retracement. That's the buy, right? Not 49K sniping the low, but 52K or 59K, right? The lower or the higher lows give great opportunities. No? But anyway, on the 4 hour, the WXY doesn't look as neat. Oh yeah, can we put that wave 2 on that top? Well, I had a little look and first of all, this is not preferred. Just a warning. But could we get a 49K type of bounce in here? And I was like, please don't let it be something like this, right? Please, no. I saw price moving and I was like, what if? Please don't. So 1, 2, right? And then your 2 needs to end somewhere here. Anyway, couple of 1, 2s. 4, 5, 4, and this is 5. So this 4 matches your 2, and this thing is a 5. So yeah, WXY is also still something that I have on my chart. So look, the probabilities on a 4 hour do not change till we reach some higher levels. And that's also the thing with higher time frame probabilities. The first probabilities that change, for example, bullish, you're in a bearish environment, right? The first probabilities that change is always locally, right? The lowest time frames, then the 1 hour, then the 4 hour, then the daily, then the weekly, right? So step by step. If you are in a bull market, the first probabilities that change is on the lower time frames. And after the lower time frames, you get to a 1 hour, 4 hour becomes bearish, then the daily, then the weekly, etc. So the higher the time frame, the more it takes to change certain probabilities. But yeah, not too big of counting, of course, this move up as a wave A, too big of a fan, and then look for A, B, C as a zigzag. A flat, okay, 3, 3, 5, right? But A, B, C, 5, 3, 5. I don't know. I'm not not too big of a fan of this structure as price now took the high. I'll keep it on my chart a little bit, but I'll probably talk a lot less about it. No? Okay, then we have the diagonal here. Now, this one was explained in the content as well earlier today. 5, as mentioned in the content, you can finish it here, right? Theoretically, it works perfectly fine to finish a 5 at the low. It's just that the first structure up, of course, looks very 3-wavy, which was the same with the 49K low, right? You'll remember. Looks very 3-wavy. This one here. A, B, C. And then, of course, after price starts pumping, I'm like, okay, what if? So then I'm like, can I get some 5-wave structure in here? Then, yeah, maybe. Is this like the best case? No. Extended 5, right? It's a lot less common than a wave 3. Wave 3 is extended versus wave 1. 5 is also extended, so there's 2 extensions. You don't see that every day. And 5 is, of course, the biggest, right? So it's not common. And you can also count it as a 3-waver. So yeah, tricky, right? Low time frame, not need. So it's not preferred till you really start taking out some levels. No? Now, if you put your wave 5 at the low and you really want to change market structure, you need an impulse correction, get your wave 3. Alternatively, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then get your wave 3. Just like with the 49K low, you grind a little bit and then poof, right? You move towards the upside. Now, of course, the scenario that I have on my chart here, because the move up initially here to the upside is not nice as a 5-waver. Can we get it done? Yeah, we can get it done, right? I just showed you an impulsive count from the low to the 81K high here. So yeah, it's possible. But then we have the WXY here for wave 5. If price touches, and there we go again, it's such a nice fib to know about. If you touch this fib level, a WXY in wave 5 has lower probabilities. It significantly decreases probabilities if wave X in a double zigzag touches the 0.7 at 84.5K. So that's an interesting level to keep in mind, which also happens to be just above this resistance area. Now your wave X locally would then be counted as a flat. I spoke about the flat in the video and some other scenarios, but basically this one was the one from the video. All right. And then to the upside, resistance here, 83.3, 84K, including a weekly naked point of control. Very interesting. Very interesting. And of course, locally, if you do count a wave C, you would need a 1, a 2. There's also, you need to get a 1 in here. 1, a 2, 1, 2, couple small 1, 2s, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? Get a bit of a grind and then go down. Now that is something that's interesting anyway, right? You start with a bit of a grind, you get your quick move up, you end with a bit of a grind, right? Typical impulsive structure. If you don't want to count all of the subwaves of an impulse, just look at the structure and you will be very often on the right side, right? So generally you have your couple of 1, 2s and your ranges and whatnot, then you get your 3, and then it always ends with a few 4, 5s, right? Sometimes more than other times, but you start with a bit of a range, you get the push, you end with a bit of a range. Once you see this, it's generally better to look for price to slowly move to the downside at some point, no? Now, a flat here is at least one of the considerations, right? This is the target area for C, but just above is resistance. So I'm actually more interested in the resistance above. And also wave C can still move to a 1.618 as well, 85.5. But then you would invalidate wave X, because remember the 0.7 is at 84.7K, was it? Now, alternatively, and this is what I saw in the group, Sam Brandy, maybe you're here, A, B, C. Double zigzag, of course, we said low probabilities, right? I would prefer a flat over a WXY double zigzag because the 0.7 is touched, which does decrease probabilities. It's not an invalidation, but, you know. And then A, B, and then look for C. Now, this wave B, it can end here. If you want to count some awkward triangle, whatever shenanigans in there, you can have a B there. What I basically want to say here is that you might not get very obvious wave 4s, right? If you have this as a 2, you would expect a bigger wave 4. But in such a scenario, you have a couple of 1, 2s in here, which are barely visible, right? And you might get a few 4, 5s, and then you just move back down. Now, this happens, and let's see if I can find an example, because I do remember. But let me see if I can get there on a 1 hour time chart. Oh, wait, I'm going to use a trick of someone in the comment section that taught me. Let's hope it works. I think it was somewhere here. Use the replay function, I believe, and then you do this. And then you go to the 4 hour. Okay. 1 hour. Okay, it works. It works. But yeah, you'd make a low. Look how big this section is compared to how small this section is. You know what I mean? So you might not get a lot of different 4-5s and very obvious 4-5s and get a big structure. But what you can see, and that is most important, right, is that you have a grind, you have a quick move, right? Impulse, bit impulse, right? Volume, but you can at least see that this starts to go more sideways again, right? So you can, like, you have this, whoop, whoop. No? It's like, and that's interesting to keep an eye on. Of course, especially if we start reaching some resistance. Now, it's not a short for me, by the way. And also, I know back in the day, this moment, I shorted later. But I was also live here with a lot of viewers back in the day because of the volatility, not because of the size of the channel. But then not shorted here. I wait. I saw the bounce with bearish CVDs, and that was the reason for me to join. And then it went a little bit to the downside in a very short amount of time. So just to like show a little bit of history, right? It doesn't repeat, but it may rhyme. So just be aware that if you do start to get that structure, right? You have your move, and once you start doing this, right, you might have a move ending against your resistance. And then just like I did back in the day, right, this is my area of interest. Where is it? It's the red box. Can barely read it. It's so big. There you go. So what I look for is the same as back in the day. I want to see some resistance. Get me some structure to the downside. Get me a bounce. Based on this, I'll know what to do. But I need to give it a little bit of time. So, yeah. Okay. So that WXY is still very much on for this one. Right? As long as, let me put the 0.7 on the chart because that's the one we don't want to touch. And if we do, interesting for the bulls. Okay. Right, bullish count. Okay, wait, two things. Because I don't know if I have it in my folders, but of course there's two potential bullish counts, right? If price does move up, we take out 88.8K. That would be really nice, no? You have a finished diagonal. The problem with the diagonal here is you would look for a 3-wave correction and another leg down to take out the lows at the later stage. It's going to take weeks though. But most bullish is WX and a short little Y. A, B, C. And that's your wave Y. Let me check the measurements. I just put it on the chart. U-Sport, are you here? U-Sport. U-Sport posted it in Discord as well. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay. It touches the 618 minimum target for a wave Y, taken then to the highest point of X, not the end of X. X is a running flat here. So you have zigzag, ABC, correction, ABC. Right. So yeah, in general, if you kept an eye on the thumbs, we are looking for a bit of a bounce at some point. But the question, of course, is, would that already be it? No? So you can see, yeah, support up, area of interest up. It's just that once price moves down so far and we start to look at finishing structures, and with that, I mean, we're looking to, in this case, finish an A, get a B, right? Not too big a fan of this scenario. Diagonal, finish 5 here or finish 5 here. You start to get the feeling here, no? Right. What's this bullish scenario? Oh yeah, potential diagonal. Same with the WXY, right? In, or are you looking for a little bit lower? It just starts to be an area of interest where in previous live streams I've been talking about, well, you know, this is not an area where I'm interested in swing shorting. I'm more interested in swing longing, you know, looking for some signs of strength and then take the potential. And even if we take out the lows, keeping an eye on the support below us, which includes a golden pocket from 49 to all-time high and the previous all-time high at 73, support resistance area. And maybe more interesting, 68K support, the blue box here. Not very interesting indeed. So it's all part of a bigger target area. And even though we start talking about a bit of bullishness during a stream, the probabilities haven't changed, eh? So you have an 886 touch at the low. 1 second here. Put that on here. Nope. So we have an 886 touch at the low. So far, this can very well be an ABC flat in an X, and down you go for wave Y. The 886 increases the probabilities that this low here is either a wave B or a wave X. Lower probabilities for a wave 2 because the 886 is very rare for wave 2s. Statistics will tell you that the 886 is not a common target for 2s, but it is something you tend to see in Bs and Xs. So if price really significantly continues, then yeah, that's perfectly fine. But at the moment, the probabilities, purely Elliott wave related, right, only change if you at least pass. You got to move higher than this, right? Little bit of a push, yeah, okay, cool. The bullish CVDs played out. We were talking about the bullish CVDs in the previous video. So this one here, right? Bullish CVD here. And if we see some more bullish CVD, right? Interesting. And that's what we did on the 5 minutes. Not really interested in this bullish CVD, by the way, just because price is pumping so much. So I would need to wait for a new range to form and then observe CVDs. Besides, we're close to resistance. So I'm more interested to observe what price does here. And then start a range, yes or no, we'll see. But yeah, that's why at least I mentioned in the video, be aware of the bullish CVDs because of something like this. So yeah, this is still very much on. This requires us to count this as a 3-wave structure, which arguably this looks better as a 3-waver than a 5-waver. Explained at the beginning. Can we count it as a 5? Yeah, but it feels a little bit forced. And it's more like, can we count it as a 5? Oh, maybe, but that's more like, oh, Bitcoin is pushing. Could it be maybe a wave 3 or another wave 1? So then I go and research this area. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, if we do look in a bit of detail, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, but then your 5 is extended, highest amount of volume. It's not very common. Gives me a bit like 49K vibes, which at that moment in time when the 49K low was created, the move up was also very, very ugly, right? At that moment in time, shortly after, I'm not sure, I did like a full plan stream. I do recommend this one. I did a full plan stream on YouTube where I explain why the probabilities were higher for the low to be in. This one. It is 3 hours long, but the analysis itself is about 2 hours. And price was at 59K. We just made the first high, I think. And I analyzed this part and said, okay, probabilities are higher, the low is in. You can watch this if you want. But you need to give it a little bit of time, right? You can see I'm on a daily time frame and a couple of days passed. Then we were at the 62K high, and eventually, of course, bit of a range, up, move down, la-di-la, and the rest is history. It never just does, no? So nice waves, gives you more than enough time. If the probabilities change bullish, right, give it some time. If they change bullish, there's generally enough chances. No need to snipe highs or lows. But locally, just like at 49, this is a very ugly structure, right? It's also low probabilities for an impulse because your 5 is extended, which is, arguably is rare. Wave 3 is most commonly extended, which it would be. And then 5 is also extended, so 2 extended waves. So wave 4 is 5 times bigger than wave 2 if you at least take wave 2, this whole thing. So not put 2 here, but the whole thing. Yeah, you know what I mean? So let's see. I'm not convinced yet. I take it level by level. Maybe I'm a bit conservative, but I prefer being conservative than too crazy, too bullish. Buying into resistance is not my style. Not my style. So I'm happy for price to look. If we touch resistance and we reject, if this move to the downside is corrective, probabilities are higher to take this high again. That's when you start thinking about the potential of a diagonal or a multi 1-2. So that is when we start talking about, okay, we take that high. Okay, so we take it high by high or low by low. And Elliott waves gives great directional bias. It's great. But at the moment, almost reaching resistance, 83 to 84. See what price does that. We have slowed down, right? You get this structure as explained earlier. We have the move, bit of a grind. We get the sharp move up and we start to slowly bend, right? So the impulsivity here slowly diminishes. That's also what I like to see moving into resistance, but then I like to see rejection. And then this is area of interest or the main, I suppose, entry area for me. First, check what it does, and then make a educated decision. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I wanted to say from an analysis perspective. So yeah, I am in a long, but that's just because I saw the CVD. I mentioned the CVD in the video, and I also mentioned if I see another CVD, be aware of the biggest CVD. And we saw another one here. So just to explain my thought process, because maybe it helps for your trading, right? Maybe it helps if we go to the 5-min, low time frame, then this is a 3-wave move down, right? Very clear. So we took out the high. That's what you want to see. Takes out the high. Another 3-wave move down, right? And that 3-wave move to the downside, if you take a fib, and you pull out the 886. If this is very bearish and you want an impulse down, right, you here, and also this is where we had bullish CVDs, but you would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We never got 4, 5, right? Instead, we retraced back up. You need a multi 1-2, 1, 2, 1, 2 down, but you touch the 886, very rare for a wave 2. Second wave 2, right? Plus your second 2 would be very big compared to your first wave 2, right? So that lowers probabilities as well. So you're going to look for price to take out this high again, right? And that is with the bullish CVDs and knowing that we still had these bullish CVDs, that was the reason for me to bite the bullet and join. Did I know this was going to happen? Fuck no, right? I'll be honest, of course not. But with the bullish CVDs, that we had between these lows, higher low, the target is that high. And we had bullish CVDs here, target this high was accomplished. And then we had another one here, right? And the target, of course, is here. But the fact that you have bullish CVDs stacking activates the bigger one. I've spoken about this. I don't often get the chance to talk about it, but we had the same. I had the almost exact same trade here. You can go back to the content when price was falling. I said, I'm not interested in the bullish CVD, not interested, still not interested. And then this is where price moved up, correction. We had bullish CVDs here. Not very interested just yet. We're still in a downtrend. Price moves up, changes the trend, 3-wave corrective structure. We get back up, bullish CVDs, take out this high. Range, bullish CVD, take out that high. Correction down, bullish CVD. And now you just change the structure and you have bull, 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 bull. Yeah. So I took a very, very similar type of trade there. So it's like, it's the same, but a little bit different, I suppose, because we are currently in April 2025. So let's then chat with chat. No, let me put the weekly naked point of control on. Where is it? There it is. Approaching resistance. So my areas of interest are these two. As mentioned, I am in a long, just explained how and why from here. Exact level is 77,537. There you go. And this is a TP area for me. Be clear, maybe a close area as well, because it is resistance. I don't have a closing order in, but I think I should. So yeah, I might put it on and just wait for a next opportunity. Stop loss is in profit. This area is an area of interest to, in my case, look for a rejection, right? Rejection, retracement, maybe some bear CVD. If this is an impulse down and we get a corrective move up, that's a short entry any day. And if we get market structure, right, to the downside with bear CVD. By the way, for the ones that don't know about CVD, it's, in my opinion, the best tool that you can use. And I always say it at the end of videos, but it's just because it is for me the absolute, man, it got me so much profit. You can find the CVD video in the things you should know about as a trader playlist. It's the most viewed video on my channel. And it tells you everything you need to know, but in a nutshell, CVD shows you when market longs or market shorts are absorbed by big limit orders, right? So bigger positions are eating the orders of the smaller fish and then push price the other way. When you are getting close to support, it becomes interesting to look for bullish CVDs. Once you hit resistance and you reject, right, it becomes interesting to look for bearish CVDs. Bearish CVDs is between the highs. Bullish CVDs is between the lows. Okay, so that's what I mean when I talk about CVD. Cumulative volume delta. I should maybe do a series on CVD because that video is so popular. There's many questions, so maybe. And at the moment, locally, we have the quick move to the upside, but you can see there's a bit of a break now on the move. So likely looking for some 4-5s and then a retracement. So, but yeah, I'm interested to see if we can hit 83.5. One area I am aware of, just FYI, is this, which is a 1 hour little order block. It also fills this gap. Right, so we cut in the gap and now we kind of filled it, hit resistance. So that is where we're hanging now. But the weekly naked point of control is more interesting. From an RR perspective in my trade, like you could do like, okay, if you enter here, my stop is now of course break even, right? Like this is solid R, but then now price is here, right? And your entry was down here, and this is your TP, which is a 0.4 R. So then the question becomes, are you going to close it or are you not going to close it? And I'm thinking about it, but I don't really want to do it. So yeah, take it step by step. We're going to take it range by range and see what happens after an impulse locally finishes. Once the retracement comes, if this retracement is corrective, you'll be the first to know on the channel. We're going to analyze that. Then the probabilities are higher to take out that high. And that is how we're going to move up and up and up. It's exactly the same as we did when the 49K low was made. It's going to be the same approach. Price moves up, corrective move down. This one was very obvious though. Look for price to take the high. All right. Price here moves to the downside. Very, very, especially this section, very corrective, right? But I would like a little bit of strength because this was still quite a steep move, right? But once we started doing this, looking for the high. 3-wave move, comes back up, look for the high. 3, this was WXY, take the, etc., right? You get the point. So you take it basically range by range. And yeah, I'm always here. When anything happens on YouTube, you bet I'm coming live. I make my videos, but hey, if there's action, Yeah, we better be part of it all together, no? Better be here all together. Okay. So I need to start counter trading myself. I I know what you mean, though. I had that problem in the past. Can you touch on the CVDs in the current area? Are they telling you? No. The range is not big enough. Also, the CVD you see here, this bullish one, is not interesting to me. Price is moving, right? And I'm only interested in new CVDs made after the high. And I got to give it some time. I got to give it a little bit of time to form a range. I prefer CVDs on 15-minute or higher. But when I'm interested, like earlier today, if there is the potential for a position and maybe some 1-2s or an impulse, I do sometimes scale down to a 3 or a 5, barely ever go to a 1. Little bearish CVD here played out. So yeah, anything on the right side of the high is what I keep an eye on, but give it some time. Give it some time. Boon Mood Boy. What's up? Did you change your name again? Or because your profile picture is different now? It's not a boot anymore. I'm so confused. There's like a guy that always pops in and what was it? It was Moon Boot Boy, I think. So now Boon Mood Boy, but he has a different profile picture. So I mean, I must be related. It can't be an accident. What's up, Lama Larek? How you doing? Great to watch. Cheers. Yeah, very calm, very honest. Look, people that promise you 500K and people that promise you like 40K, just ditch them. I like, if you follow anyone that is highly emotional and screams in the microphone and has an open mouth thumbnail, then there's only one button you should click: not buy, not sell, but unsubscribe probably. So yeah, that's it's not about emotion. You got to approach it's a business. It's a business. There's a bit of action. Either you're part of the action or you're not. If you're not part of the action, just sit back. Just look at the chart, or maybe preferably even don't look at the chart and just do something else. Watch a movie or whatever. Chart is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. We'll be here tomorrow. 2 days, 5 days, next week, hopefully many years to follow. And there will be enough opportunities, right? We are closing in on resistance. That's an area of interest for me, right? So yeah, I'm interested in shorting there. If I see what I want to see, I'll be in. If I don't see what I want to see, then I'm not in. So I don't mind missing moves. I missed the move overnight on Monday because, of course, I'm asleep. So, oops, this whole move down, I wasn't part of the move. And then we live streamed, I don't know, I think we went live here, or I made a video, but I said that I am not interested here, right? We're moving down. I'm not going short. I'm not going long. I got to wait. So it takes time. Not every day do I have a setup, but yeah, I mean, that's of course my plan. I would beat you in Trackmania. Okay, it is you. Yeah, okay. For the ones that don't know, I used to be a professional esports player in Trackmania. Hopefully you know the game. And I was a pro from 2007 to 2018. And if you look for Koens Trackmania on Google or other sources, you will find a lot of information. How far this would drop. I mean, if you do go to the downside, I'm interested in 68K. That's an area of interest to me. Before you get there though, you have 72 to 69.5, which is a golden pocket on the daily with support resistance from the 73K all-time high. So if price would move below the current low, I'm not interested really in trying to short the market, but that's my personal plan, because we are reaching like areas of support, and there's no big gaps between those areas of support. Now, the blue boxes for me are generally the most, like, the leading ones, right? So 68K is the next blue box to the downside. And if you're like, well, this guy's talking about his boxes, what the hell sits inside these boxes? Feel free to ask. But just to show you, these are some of the levels. So you can see the weekly naked point of control here. And that is generally a bigger level. Yeah, we have a daily and some stuff here, but it's just a little less important to me than the weekly naked point of control. And then you can see that below here, there's nothing. No boxes, no levels, no horizontals, and then 68.8, and then 62, and then 57.9, right? So yeah, and my boxes generally are nicely respected. Most of the time, they do at least give a reaction. And then we'll take it from there. So very nice. Also here we had a box, but the moment they're touched, I make them white, and then eventually I remove them. So, but you'll find it in the older content, the 76K box, right? That was below that low. Yeah, I like the boxes. And it also cleans up my chart. My chart back in the day was a mess. Ooh. I have a video about that as well, by the way. In the educational playlist channel, I have a video about how to make target boxes. Good luck, Aaron. The Video Kingdom. I remember joining the stream for the first time in November 2023. Holy. Yeah, one of the OGs by now. Yeah, thanks for still hanging out. And that counts for everyone here. Right. CVD. Just go to this. I don't know why people... Maybe I should ask with the mods as well. Like the link works because there's new people joining all the time in Discord with that same link. But if you can't get in, like poof. So new people are coming in all the time in Discord. But maybe I'll make a new link. I'll just make a new link and see if that works. For now, though, I recommend to go to the LINKTREE in the description of the video and then click on Discord. And then once you're in Discord, go to the Good to Know channel. And this is where you can find the website for CVD, a CVD one-pager that I made, right? So you can check, it's free. You can just download it. Discord, there's no paywall. I don't like that stuff. So free, you can download this. Discord, all free. Like, you can hang out here. Of course, there's the membership channels, but there's so much info in the analysis and trading, in educational content, questions, just feel free to check everything out. And then the CVD video, of course, is on my channel as well. So, and my CVD template is here, without the lines, with the lines, Atlas templates. Yeah, lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff. Yeah, I'll change the CVD link. See what I can do there. Thanks, Mark DeFi. Thanks for letting me know. Link Spartan. Hi, could you mention a 618 wave 4 on the macro on Bitcoin bottom? This correction should be a wave 4. Why are you waiting for a 618 touch? I'm not waiting for a 618 touch to enter positions. Right, so it's just a 618 is like an invalidation. Of course, for a wave 4, I don't want to wait for the 618 to be touched because that's like the invalidation, right? So if we look at a wave 4, a little bit of drawing, 1, 2, 3, get a sideways 4, and then a 5. Right, you pull the fib from the low of 2 to the high of a 3. Right. Then once you hit the 0.236, this is your common target area for a wave 4. Most common is the 382. That's generally a nice target around that 382, right? But then my entries are based on the structure of wave 4, right? Because so when you do not yet have this price action here, right? This is all unknown to you. So we talk a little bit now about implementation and trading Elliott wave. So this, you do not know this yet. Now, when you have this move, you're going to be like, well, is this a 1, 2, 3 and look for 4, 5? Or do you have an A, B, C with just a very long C, right? They happen more in crypto, but nonetheless, A, B, C. Well, the next move down will give you more information. Right? Will give you more information, because if this structure is corrective, so that's what I wait for. If this is a corrective range, so not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse or a leading diagonal, right? Because then we expect more downside. But if this is a 535 zigzag and then we move back up, if this is a flat, if this is a triangle, right? Oopsie daisy. That is the moment where I start to really get interested and look for my entries. And the 618, of course, would invalidate a wave 4, which means probabilities increase. This is an ABC, alternative for bulls, 1, 2, 1, 2, continuation up. Depends a bit on how long this is. And also ABC, this can still be W, X, and Y. Don't forget, this doesn't have to be a wave 4. It can also be a wave X. But the result is the same, meaning taking the high. See what I mean? So, and stuff that I talk about right now is stuff that I am planning to go through in a lot of detail in a platform that has yet to be developed with Elliott wave theory and lots more information on the structures, how probabilities change, trading it, etc. So, yeah, it's coming in the future, but it takes a lot of work. We haven't started yet. I first want to finish the compendium, the book that we are making. Soon I will also announce a completely different project. Oh, makes me think. I can as well just drop a little teaser here. So it's not actually not Elliott wave related, but it is plan related. I will look here in a second. But I get a lot of questions, of course, about making plans. Also, welcome, Doug. Yo. Welcome to Silver, man. Thanks for joining. We will sort you out after the stream. So I get many questions on making a plan, analysis. What do I look for, right? What's part of my plan? People that ask, are we going up? Are we going down? And then the answer always is, well, depends on your plan. Yeah? You want to enter. Should I go long? Should I go short? So one of the things that I did a while ago is making a video about creating a 6-step plan, which is this one here. Look, they don't get a lot of love, these two, from the algorithm, but these two videos are the most important two on my channel. Trading psychology and creating a plan. But the creating a plan, right, I tend to get many questions about this. So what we have done is we are building, as we speak, a platform to build a plan, journal that plan, and the results of that plan, plus analytics and a whole lot of functions included. It's quite a list. So we are almost in the phase of a soft launch where we will invite people. Well, actually, it's not invitation. We will have a Google Forms. You fill in the Google Forms. And the top 50, the first 50 that fill in the form will be allowed to test the platform. And then, of course, we'll try to collect some feedback at la-di-la. But we are working on a really big platform to also with Elliott wave journaling templates and other trading style templates where you can kind of like journal specifically for Elliott waves and have a daily plan for Elliott waves and the day trade that you maybe want to take for Elliott waves. It tracks your trades. You have a plan. You have a place to journal, la-di-la, and a lot more information. We have checked what's out there in the market, but we are having elements and things out in our platform that are different, which is very nice. So we are working on it, and that's gonna be out there very soon. So yeah, it's going to be quite exciting, at least the soft launch. My charts are very messy. Would love to learn the object tree. Mina, I have a very good video for you. I should just keep my Linktree on here instead of all the time going to my... let me put this one there. And then we go to the educational content playlist. And then the video for you is this one, the target box video. The easiest way to trade, less is more, truth. This will help you with organizing the object tree. or at least making boxes. I'm not sure if I actually talk. It's such an old video 2 years ago. I'm not sure if I really talk about the object tree. I don't really think I go in detail on that. Why this candle on Bitcoin? I think, yeah, here, Tony answered. Thanks, Tony. Mark Dutch sent me a link to one of your videos, but it must have been, yeah. I mean, so Moon Boot Boy, that name, man. You've been here for a while now already as well. Always having fun. The best part is la di la or something. I'm deaf anyway. Maybe it's a little bit of a Dutch thing. Okay, let me have a look at some other questions that we had. Joel. Oh, here. The tariffs. Yeah, I'm not really a big fundamental guy. We do, of course, have news coming up as well on Thursday and Friday. It should be quite some interesting volatility. DOG, you are an absolute OG. Yeah, thanks, man. DOG, you're an OG as well, no? Been here for over a little of 8 months. Learned a lot and respect your character. Would love to meet you in person. I love Elliott and Squeeze indicator combined. Ooh. I love Elliott and Squeeze. I'm going to check that one out. Yo, thanks, DOG, man. That's very kind of you. Thanks for saying that, Dan. Like, those type of comments like yourself and people commenting on the videos, it really makes my day. Like for some, it's just like a few seconds where people write a comment like, hey, yo, thanks for the update, man. Like, I love replying to comments. I do it the whole day. I only have 2 notifications on my phone. One is YouTube comments. Whenever a comment comes in, I get a notification. The other one is if my wife messages me on WhatsApp. Those are the only 2. Oh, balloons on my webcam. Probably one of the signs I did. But those are the only 2 notifications I have on my phone. I couldn't find this indicator though. But I'm glad, OG, you found a nice style. And, if you're in Nice or around the area here, hit me up. Hit me up. I live in the south of France. So whenever people visit and I do have time, then let me know. And, we can have a drink somewhere, no? Yeah, I'm in. Appreciate it, man. And X was 5-wave move. Wave X can only be a 3-wave structure. So if you count a wave X and there's a 5-wave in X, think about a C wave. So just for the sake of an example, if you would have this as a W, ABC, right? And you would look for a wave X that includes a 5-wave structure, right? So this is your W. Then you would need a flat A, B, C, right? Where one of the big waves is an impulse, right? So that's your X. This is your wave C. Internally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you go back down and take the low. That would be a great bait, by the way, now that we're at it. Imagine. Multi 1, 2, get a wave 3, finish 4, 5s. Yo, everyone happy. Bull market continues. Oops, see there. Oh, nope. No, we're not. But for the example, if you do count a 5-wave structure, it can't be a wave C. A wave X. Wave X is always a 3-wave structure. So a zigzag, 5, 3, 5, right? For example, WXY, which is a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. Flat ABC, C is 5. Right, so, What's up, Edgaras? How you doing? Sibel with the beautiful green name now. Legendario, Deon. What's up, guys? Oops, let's scroll down again. See what's up here. Do you think it's GG to claim at 83 before heading back down? I would like to see 83.5 touched. Weekly naked point of control. That's why my box is here. So it's an area of interest. We have a little order block here, so I am aware of resistance, but I would like to see the box hit And by the way, don't forget about the volume profile here. The point of control is just above the box, which I realized, I think after the video I posted earlier, I was like, let me just pull a volume profile. And maybe I should just, maybe a little bit bigger. There you go. Now it includes the point of control. We can write that in the box as well. Do this. RPOC. Wait, do I have it in my... Nope. So let's get this one in then. There we go. Oh, by the way, Mina, if you are still here, I can do a very short course on managing your object tree and explain it. So, object tree in a nutshell. You can see I have folders and you can see I have sections, okay, for everyone. Can you guys see it? Yeah, you can. So you can see I have these horizontal lines, right? And they divide sections. So what's in here is always what I talk about in my videos. This is like my video section. This is the section of my horizontals. This below there is section of scenarios that are not relevant at the moment, or higher time frame scenarios, line chart scenarios, like other stuff. This is not yet, like, it's not yet relevant to put in any of the other things. And this is my target, and the CVD is just a text that says CVD, just so that I don't forget to talk about CVD when I want to. So if I want to talk about CVD in the video, I generally move it down into here. So you see I have different sections. Now, how did I create different sections? So let's start with that. How did I create different sections? I created it like this. There they are. These are just horizontal lines like this one. A horizontal ray, you put it somewhere on the chart. You change the name of this ray. In my case, I just did this, right? And then you enter, and then you just drop it somewhere. Ta-da! There you have your section breaker, I suppose. And creating folders is done by doing this. So you maybe want different things of analysis on your chart. So at the moment, you can see I have a rectangle on my chart here, right? Maybe I have like what? A trend line here, right? Some trend line thing, maybe a volume profile on my chart as well, whatever. I have a couple of different technical analysis on my chart, but I want to organize it. Now, how do I organize it? If these three belong to like a theme, so if I am looking for example, resistance, and I can see there's a trend line here with a point of control close to the box. I mean, honestly, not too close, but you know what I mean, right? Imagine this box is a little higher, right? Somewhere there. And then you're like, ooh, area of resistance. And maybe you want to remember that there is some resistance here and you want to know the tools, right? Then you're like, cool. You select them by using Shift, right? Poof. So you click on one, use Shift, click on the lower one, right? Click on create a group, right click, rename, resistance tools, whatever. You can make it anything. And then now, ta-da, right? Easy. Now, in my case, what I like to do is every day I check if there are new horizontal levels on my chart. Is there a new daily naked point of control daily? Maybe after the week, a weekly naked point, etc. And these are organized in my object tree. So you can see that all of these blue lines here are daily naked point of controls, and they're all in here. So that is my daily naked point of control folder, right? Everything that has to do with a 15-minute regular flat, right, sits in the folder 15-minute regular flat, meaning the count, meaning the target, right? One could look for 1, 2s and then eventually 4, 5s. If I, for example, if I would put like, okay, 1, 2, and then still look for 3, 4, 5, right? From an impulse perspective inside C, then I would drag this in my folder because it's part of the regular flat. That's the theme of of my folder here, right? So you can see how I managed it. If different things belong to the same theme, I put them in a folder, and it makes my workflow very organized, which is nice, right? Which is nice. And I can recommend it. If you are someone that has all the different tools messing around, like, and becomes very difficult for you, or you have analysis paralysis, try to organize your stuff. It will help. With analysis paralysis, what also helps is creating these boxes, right? Creating these boxes has significantly improved my way of trading. How do you make the boxes, or why do you make the boxes? You make the boxes because of, which video is it? Koen, this one. The easiest way to trade in the educational playlist. That one there. Less is more. This is how to create boxes. Or what they mean, basically, based on your style. If you can tell if an extended, you missed my, I'd like to know if you can tell an extended fifth wave based on volume, like in a wave 3. Yeah, if a wave 5 is extended, then that wave 5 should have the highest amount of volume, because that's the strongest, most impulsive wave. Of course, it's no rule, but a guideline is that the most extended structure gets the highest volume. It has the biggest push. So here is the thing, right? So here's the thing. Imagine you see this, right? Wait. What is your count? Wait. And this is the volume. This is the, let me turn this off. So the volume goes a little bit up, a little bit down, right? Volume goes a little bit up, a little bit down, volume goes up. What's your count? How do you, so now this is a bit of a tricky question, right? What's your count? What's your highest probability count? Yeah, a double 1, 2, 3. Exactly. The highest probability impulse is always a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the extended 3. An extended wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lower probabilities, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lower probabilities. So the first thing that we think about when we see this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Because of the volume being highest here, which is most common in wave 3, and we know that the most common impulse is an impulse where your wave 3 is extended and 3 has the highest volume. So naturally, your first thought is we get a 4, 5, 4, 5, double 1, 2, double 4, 5, and down. Right? That's the first idea. Now, how can you quote unquote increase the probability of seeing an extended fifth? I have 2 tips. Number 1, if you analyze on a weekly time frame, monthly time frame, yearly time frame, probabilities increase for extended fifths. And the reason for this is market participation. Okay? On a weekly time frame, monthly time frame, or a yearly time frame, this is, by the way, also knowledge from Elliott Wave International, because your structure takes so much time to form, right? Many more people start to get interested once price moves up significantly, because in the weekly an impulse is significant, same as the monthly. So in other words, the probabilities of an extended fifth on a high time frame are higher just because there's more market participation, there's more push, there's more power. Down here, no one knows, right? When price is moving here, maybe a few. But then eventually people start to be like, wait a second, right? If for a couple of months or many weeks, it keeps pumping, boom, 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 and then people start to take notice, and then you get your 5. So that is 1. 2 is if your wave 4, which we don't yet know at that moment in time, is incredibly shallow. So of course the rules still apply or guidelines still apply. If you have a wave 1, 2, right, and then a normal impulse 3, 4, 5, the most common target for your wave 4 is the 236 to the 05. But the target for a wave 2, most common, is the 05 to the 786. The 382 is less common, 236 is rare. So if price moves up and this range is very shallow, only reaching, let's say, a 236, and then you get the highest volume here, it at least should make you aware of the potential of an extended fifth. Mind you that in an extended fifth, you want to be able to count a 5-wave structure, right, as well, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Instead of in 3, you count it in 5. Okay? So those are a few things that you can look at to increase the chance of considering a extended fifth wave. But generally, you won't give it the highest probabilities. Now that in hindsight, people be like, "Oh, you are wrong," but actually, no, you're not. You are a good Elliott wave analyst, right? Because you play the probabilities, and when you see this, right, if this move is similar to this one, because if 5 is extended, then wave 1 and 3 are generally. That's another tip, by the way. If 5 extends, wave 1 and 3 are generally quite similar, but 3 can never be the shortest, so 3 should be a little bit longer, right? But if wave 3 does not extend, 5 has a higher chance of extending, right? But even if this is the highest volume and this move is kind of same length as this one, you'll likely first divert in or think about 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. That's your highest probability. Highest volume, most often wave 3. And then after a wave 3, if you get a very deep retracement, then you know, oops, right? But it's not your first thought. And that's also why I like to take it range by range. So if I would trade this, I like to exit once wave 4s and 5s start, and I'm happy to re-enter in a 4. So once I see, for example, locally, I am in a long here, but I am thinking about getting out of it because this is the big 3, and now we start ranging. Yeah, we can go a bit higher. We can go a little bit higher, but we start to have a curve, right? On the lower time frame. So this is now wave 4, 5 territory at the moment from a probability perspective. It'll be very simple. Highest volume is in this move. Highest probability is that this is your 3, and you start moving into 4, 5s. How many do we get? Well, 1, 2, 1, 2, maybe a few more. 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, question mark. Or is this a 3-wave structure, right? Maybe ABC, and B ends over here. These are your 1, 2s, and you only get a few 4, 5s. I don't want to be bothered trying to count how many 4, 5s. I prefer to take the big move and then, start to think about getting the exit. So if price is here, then I wait for a retracement, and if this one is corrective, I'm happy to join again. Right? If this one, however, is more impulsive, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correction, and then I'm happy I got out. So it's like the best of both worlds. Now, there's, of course, always then the chance that I sell too early and price just continues a bit. But then I don't care. You can't snipe every high, every low. And generally, I kind of realize once price starts ranging after a bigger push, from an Elliott wave point of view, yeah, wave 4s are coming. So I don't mind exiting at the exact high. I just want to think about exiting and then waiting for the range, right? And then the range will give all the info, as I like to say here. So the range a new range always gives the most information. So this thing here, right? That's what comes next. That's interesting. Looking for 4s and 5s, and we'll see how many we get. But most likely the biggest portion of the move has already happened, and we are now looking to finish some 4, 5s. Hopefully hit some resistance would be nice, and take it from there. Yep. What's the time? For a second, I was like, is it a joke or not? Long or short depends on your plan. Oh, this is a great opportunity for me to do this. Wait. So, wait, Calvin, I have a video for you that tells you exactly what to do. So, if you, and for anyone, if you want to make it in the market, right? Trading is a difficult business. It's not just buy and sell and then pray, right? Buy the next like shitcoin and then, you're a millionaire tomorrow. Watch this video, Trading for Beginners, right? 6 steps, building your plan, become profitable with a solid plan in place, right? Long or short on this channel generally doesn't get answered. I like to help people create a plan because that will give you sustainability in the market. If you ask people online, long or short, you're not gonna get there. You're not gonna make it. It's doomed. You might as well just take your money out because you're gonna blow it anyway. So the best thing to do is to create your own trading plan, and learn Elliott waves or learn how to use trend lines in the best way possible together with the VWAP and something else, right? So be safe out there. Right. And if you really want to be a trader and get the freedom that trading gives you or can give you, then I suggest putting time in creating a plan and a strategy, which that video will teach you how to do. And that is also what the platform that we're working on in the background, and soon we'll soft launch it, will help you to do, is to help you create a plan. A trading plan, and then journal with the plan, collect data about the plan, put trades into the platform with their results so you can check everything, and a lot more details and things that are built into the platform that you cannot get at other places, because we checked 6-7 other competitors in the market. We checked all of their functionalities and we have different things. So on purpose, of course, right? You need a bit of a USP to help people. And I'm, of course, an Elliott wave analyst. So yeah, create a plan. Create a plan. Totally agree. Yeah, I mean, like I do like the question. It always gives me an opportunity to talk about the importance of having a plan. It's and then hopefully I can convert some people into building a plan. And I always hope that if someone asks long or short and then I answer make a plan, I always hope in a way that once they leave, that maybe at a later stage they're like, wait, that guy, maybe what he said was actually true, right? Because of course, like there's people that don't really want to hear it. They're like, just like, give me the next setup, long or short. And then it's like, oh, you got to create a plan and be able to sustain yourself. And they're like, okay, I'm out. But that's okay, because that's not my audience. That's not the audience of this channel. As you will likely see in the comments, in Discord, in the chat here, more professional audience. I'm about to create Squirt Coin. What else tools you believe most except CVD and volume profiles? Well, point of control. So, of course, volume profile in ranges is interesting. The point of control mainly. I use ATAS for daily naked point of controls and weekly and monthly naked point of controls. Templates are in Discord in the Good to Know channel, right down here. Templates. Those are actually, and time frame horizontals, right? Time frame horizontals. So, we have a daily here as well. So that's just a support resistance area, right? So you can see here, we had maybe on your chart, green candle, next candle on the daily, next candle red, that's a support resistance, that's called the daily. You can do the same here, another one. You can do the same on the weekly. Now, those type of different tools give me my boxes. And then I like to remove everything, usually from my chart, and just leave the box because it just makes it clean. Of course, I use Elliott waves. Of course, I use CVD. That's it, really. Yeah, less is more, no? Wait, yeah, no, I don't have. Yeah, that's it, I suppose. Back in the day, I used many tools, many. Just have a look at the video in the. Was it this one? Yeah. So in the educational playlist, and then go to this video, the easiest way to trade, less is more. Well, let me click. I just want to show you. Okay, let's skip all. Thank you. This was back in the day. This is an old video, right? And even this chart was my old chart before recording this. If I turned all of my folders on, this was my chart. I used every tool in the existence of TradingView. I used it all, and it created a mess. And then I got into scaling down, which is also the steps in this video. So these are the steps, right? Solution, step 1, step 2, step 3, etc. And it will teach you to scale down on your tools, use the ones that you like the most, and then create the boxes to clean up your chart and get a very, very beautiful chart, just like this. Right? I'm not kidding. This was not for the video. This is not for the video. This was seriously my chart when I started, when I got knowledge about TA. I learned all of the different things in TradingView, right? All of the different tools. I was learning them, I was using them, I was testing them, and la. But that's also what you need. So that's why step 1 in building a plan, so step 1 in the video of building a plan is try as many free, preferably, tools on TradingView. And just experiment, test them, check them. Does it work? Does it not work? Do you like it? Do you not like it? La-di-la-di-la. Your chart will maybe look exactly the same than mine, compared to mine. If you turn everything on, it might look like an absolute shithole. However, part of the process, eventually you learn like, oh, this actually works pretty well for me. And I like this tool. I don't like this. And then you start to be more selective. And that's step number 2 in the 6-step plan, right? Is find your favorite tools and then build some statistics on them. And your favorite tools, handful. You don't need more. You don't need more. Generally, less is more. Looks like your screen broke. I know. Error. Yeah. Ooh, I wonder how it is with Red Loop. Yeah. Hussein, he was very active in the beginning. He asked me lots of questions for my Q&A. Danny the Hop is still here, by the way. He still watches the content, sometimes still joins the live stream. We are talking about a video that is 6th of March 2023. That was a few weeks after the channel was launched, by the way, because the channel exists since the 20th of Feb 2023. And he is still there. He still watches the videos. So... Picasso. Yeah, I know. I should have been a painter. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. What's the name of that book? Oh, this one. Wait 1 second. I'm just proud about this one. There you go. Signed, yo. By Bob himself. Should write him a message, actually. Let me put that in my phone. I'm going to write him tomorrow. Put it in my agenda for tomorrow. See what he's up to. What's the time? The US? I'll write him at like, what, 6 p.m.? Okay, there we go. In the agenda. You saw the video. I mean, some of the content in that playlist, it's old, and I still had my old microphone. And I gotta say, I removed two videos, not removed, but two videos are on private where I didn't have a microphone. I used my my earphones with the microphone in the cable. Yo, that sound quality was something else. It's the same as using 96 Windows. Oh, holy. Yeah, I got rid of those. Yeah, it's not relevant anymore. Please early update tomorrow so that we can react early enough. False fingers. False fingers. So I'm always surprised. Like I post the video, few seconds later, I get a message on my phone because I get the notifications from comments, and someone's like, first. Or someone, or Legionario, he's usually very quick as well. He says, thanks. He hasn't even watched the video yet, right? Like the video is online, not even for a minute. And they're like, yo, thanks, man. Unfortunately, most won't want to put in the work to learn how to create trading plans or use risk management. Yeah, that's also true. But, you know, there's an audience for every channel, and I'm pretty sure those people will find another home, another place. La-di-la-di-la. La-la-la. Yeah, I should watch out saying that. I hope I am lucky enough for Koen to sign my 1x1 MTS poster of himself. Yeah, send me a photo in Discord if you printed one. Imagine putting that in your merch. Imagine you create merch. You put out a poster of yourself. I don't know. It sounds very cringe. Please buy this poster, put it on your wall, and you'll have Koen next to your computer saying whatever text is on the banner. No way. Old make ASMR. Yeah, I'll still have it. Wait. Actually, I don't have my old microphone here, but what I do have, it's actually pretty good. Sorry for the sound here. What I do have is the lavalier microphones. Right? So I do have this. Right? So, and they work really well. I used them when I was traveling in the US and I made an update. I used these ones and I was positively surprised. Yeah, not bad. Since following known, I have used my power tower daily. I have installed on my bed. Too much effort in a normal position. Nice. Good job. I went to the gym today. Leg day. Oh, man. Yeah. Tough days. AJ. But hey, good luck, by the way. Like, it's good that you put on the power tower and that you're actually using it. That's positive. First, I found Elliott Waves. Then I found your channel. Now working on psychology. Soon we'll be trading in a very relaxed way, as you do. That's what I like the most. Thanks for the great word. Cheers, AJ. A nice process as well. And it's exactly according to the 6 steps. Find your tool, Elliott Wave, right? Maybe build some statistics, even though we know like Elliott Waves is like a proven thing, so you don't really need to have statistics unless you use it with other tools. But then you found your plan, then you work on your psychology, then start trading with a low amount preferably first, and then increase it accordingly. Yeah. Good job. Andre Silva, zooming out to the weekly time frame, the current correction from January 20th could be a wave 4 still, an A or another 2. Yeah, so at the moment, the probabilities are higher that the move down is corrective. And so let me go to the daily. This is a bit high. So probabilities are higher. This structure is a corrective structure at the moment. There is, of course, the potential for a diagonal, which I am tracking. Where is it? This one. But it depends on the move up. If the move up is impulsive, we look for all-time high. If the move down is going to be a correct, or whenever, by the way, I'm almost talking like, and we have a double bottom here, 886 is touched. This can very much be a flat, and we have interesting support below, right? Okay, just to FYI. But eventually, yeah, we're looking for a bit of a move up, right? It becomes more interesting, quite a dip, looking for structures to slowly end, and upside becomes more interesting, even though there's still some support down here, which is very interesting. And then if once we get a move up, because eventually you get a move up, impulsive or corrective. Impulsive, look for the high. Corrective, look for the low. With regards to, can it still be a wave 4? I think I put that in Discord, or no, in... where did I put it? In Telegram, in the Telegram chat. Yes, it can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Like this. And then, of course, your 4 either in or maybe another low, but you don't want to touch the 618 at 69.5. That's no bueno for this scenario. If you touch 69.5, that is when you're going to move into finished structure, right? And this is then either a wave 5 on the weekly, which creates a bear market. However, this doesn't really look yet like a very impulsive structure, right? More corrective. Alternative is the potential of, I've seen expanding 5s, right? Or extended 5, 1, 2, look for 3, 4, 5. Scenarios where this is 4, 5, another 4, 5, which is then related to 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. You see, like, Elliott waves is about directional bias, right? It's about directional bias because in these bullish scenarios, in all cases, you take the high. And once you take out the high, you just got to follow up and see what comes next. What's the volume, right? How far does it go? When does the next range start? What does this range show? And then we'll take it from there. But at the moment, it looks better as a corrective structure, but I am tracking a diagonal. And the diagonal would lead to a 3-wave down or 5. But take it step by step. Once we get a bounce up, right? Possibly here, possibly later. We are, of course, I did the analysis in the beginning. I just don't want to go back into the whole analysis and stuff. But once we move up, we just track the move up, impulsive or corrective. Do you find that a 112 is a shallow retrace? No. Wait, it's still the... it can happen, but wave 2 still follow the guidelines of your 2. So, for example, this is a multi 1-2 here, right? Some will be shallow, some will be deep. This was a 786. This was a 0.5, if I'm not mistaken. This was a 382, and this is a 786, I think. So some of them will be deep, maybe some of them won't, but generally your guideline of a wave 2 retracing to the 0.5786 target area, which is most common, still applies. 1-2-1-2 never happened, lol, or very rarely. I mean, so the multi 1-2, they actually happen all the time. It's just that generally you don't count in such detail. So when you have an impulse on the daily, right, on the 4-hour, I mean, even on the daily we can see it, but on the 4-hour time frame, multiple 1-2s, and inside this impulse, or inside this impulse, you have a 1-hour impulse, and the 1-hour impulse has a 15-minute impulse, and the 15-minute impulse has a 1-minute impulse. So theoretically, you have a triple 1-2 in this little section alone. But it depends on the time frames that you're talking about, right? So on a weekly, right, you would probably be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, easy. Okay, cool. But then we go to the daily and we're like, oh wait, it's not that simple. This is not a diagonal, right? Never got a deep retracement after. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then okay, up. So yeah, I meant like 50 minutes. Yeah. So the lower you go, the less chance there is for a multi. I mean. Wait. Yes, so the lower time frame you go, of course, the less 1-2s you have because you're at a lower time frame. So you have a 15-minute 1-2, and then you get a 5-minute, and then you get a 3-minute and a 1-minute. Where is it? Where was it? Was it this move down? Oh wait, this one. Yeah, this one. Of course, I don't have the subwave analysis of this whole structure down anymore, but on a low time frame here, This was your 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's when you start. Right? And then, oh wait, and another, arguably 1, 2, highest volume, 3, and then you go into 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. So even though this is 50-minute time frame, so there's a few 1, 2s there, which then lead to a few 4, 5s. So it happens. But I get your point. Also here, we had a multi 1, 2 here. So this is a simple one. This is just a 1, just a 2. This is just an internal impulse. But the multi 1, 2 started here. And I know because I traded this. So we made a low, 3-wave move down, and then impulse up, correction down, impulse up, correction down. And we were building bullish CVDs. These are multi 1, 2s. That was the 3-minute time frame. So on the 3-minute, you basically were doing this, which then leads you to 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, etc. Yeah. Yo, Odin. How you doing, man? So they do happen, but yeah, the lower time frame you go, arguably becomes a little bit more tricky to spot. Like you have less time to react. Let me just go back like this. You have, You have a bit less time, of course, to react as well, as price tends to move quicker, right? So, yeah, they do appear. It's like taking a trade on the 786. Wait, what are we talking about? Yeah, the 7. Oh, yeah. So I mean, it's the same thing, of course, where if you get a nice impulse up, 5. If the 3-wave move is down is very clear, I don't mind the 786. But if this is a zigzag, so imagine this is a wave 1, and you get a wave 2 down, and your wave 2 reaches the 786, right? And it's a zigzag. It's very unlikely for me to immediately enter. Now, this 5-wave move up, of course, alternatively is a C. You don't know what came before. But if you get a 5, 3, 5, and it's an absolute waterfall, because sometimes you get these type of structures where your wave C is just very high volume, I'm not the guy that would like enter at the 786. What I would then prefer to see, and this actually happens regularly, is that I take my little like fib time tool, right? And then I will just wait for new range to form, right? Because if this is a 2, you look for wave 3. Wave 3 will always start with a few 1, 2s. It won't just do poof and never come. So I'm just waiting. And then I will compare the time that this takes with the move down. Because generally, this range is going to move beyond a 5 or a 6 fib time. In other words, this structure is going to be very likely 5 to 6 times longer than the move down before it moves. So the moment you make a new high after a 6 fib time, the probability is higher. This is a new structure. And if it is then supported by bullish CVDs and impulse up, correction down, etc., then yeah, it becomes very interesting. So I enter later, but I have more trust, I suppose, in the setup. And I care more about winning than sniping a low. And I have traded setups like that. And one of the best ones that I can remember, let's see if I can get there, was this range. Where is it? Wait, where's the 49K low? That was this. Okay, yeah, that's this one. Oh, here. Nope. Here, this one. Yes. There we go. So I took a long here based on exactly that. So you can see, mess to the downside, move up, right? And then boom. Right? And then you get this. You see how long this is compared to the move down? So I'm like, well, if this move down is related. So in other words, this can be a 1, 2, 1, 2 down. Okay. Right. For example. No. But if this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, your wave 2 should not be like 6 times the length of this wave 1. Right. if this is a what else, like this is a move that stands by itself. If this is ABC, it's bullish anyway. But at this moment in time, right, when you get this structure, you're like, oh, are we going further or not? This move, take a fib time from the high to the low, toggle on your fib times, toggle on the, no, let's say the 5 and the 6 here, it doesn't really matter. So the moment you take out this high here, bullish. Look for that high. The probabilities now increased, right, that what is forming here is a new structure not related to this move down, which means that this is very likely its own structure, which brings it to a 3 wave, not a 5. Right? Now, trading safely, right? Do you know this is the low at that moment in time? No, you can still get a WXY double zigzag, right? Possibly. So you can manage your stop loss and put it somewhere accordingly. But you would look for price to take out that high eventually. But yeah, this was a trade based on time. I don't really get too many of these, but it happens. It happens. So this is the one I remember vividly. Oops. Go back. Where are we? There we are. And back to the box. Hopla. Wow. Still 200 people watching. Insane, yo. We've been online for almost 2 hours. It's time for me to wrap things up. It's 10 p.m. here. Yeah, B for Basti. Just join Discord. Go to the and then the other Discord link in the Linktree. I heard today other people saying, "Hey, it doesn't work." I don't really know why, but I'm gonna change the link just for your information, and then I will replace the link and probably write it a little bit different. So you can go to Discord, click on the Linktree in the description. Go to Discord. If you have an account older than 1 day, it should work. And then go to the Good to Know channel, which is this one. And then you'll find CVD information here. A little bit of gym, a little bit of protein, right? Actual scenario. I mean, we can be very, very, very to the point here without zooming out too much and too big of a story. Impulse to the upside, right? At the moment, thinking about a wave C, right? We have an 886 touch at the low probabilities for a wave 2, higher probabilities for a wave B or X, but that would increase probabilities. This is corrective, being a C, and a potential to take the low. However, of course, I look for price to hit some resistance and then show some weakness, which at the moment we don't really yet have. We are at some resistance, right? This area here is an order block. So personally, I would be looking for price to take, to preferably move up to the box just a little higher. You can also see that's your 3. Now we start moving sideways, right? So probabilities increase. You're now moving into 4 5s, which means you are ending or starting to end the structure. And doing this just below resistance is interesting. So yeah. So that is what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for price to finish this impulse, couple of 4 5s, touch the box preferably. Initially look for an ABC, but if that's the case, I want to see a 5-wave move down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3-wave retracement entry. If price is going to move correctively to the downside, and we will observe this, but if it moves correctively, probabilities are high to take this high again, and we look for price to probably move above the box. So, yeah, probabilities, right, we move up, but yeah, you touched an 886, double bottom, higher to take the double bottom, till proven otherwise, and proven otherwise means reject correctively. right? Instead of impulsively. So it's a nice move up. Nice move up. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for at the moment. I'm in a long myself, but when I close the stream, I'm closing the long. I don't want to have it overnight. I don't care if price would continue pumping for whatever reason, then I'm happy I'm out. I don't mind. We are this is what I'm looking for. And once we start moving into wave 4s and wave 5s as a higher probability, just below resistance, when I'm asleep, I can't control. I don't set alarms during my sleep. I value my sleep. I want to sleep. I don't want to be involved with the charts. So yeah, I'll probably after the stream I just close my long and yeah. 24-hour stream. Yeah, the 10K jumps then become more and more frequent, hey, when price is at higher levels. Nice. So yeah, I answered the question here, I suppose. Cheers, Nick. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Pleasure, Dogan. This is the highest quality CBL Elliott wave you can get out there. I used to follow other Elliott wave analysts before YouTube algo got me to the Koons channel, but they never ever took the time. Thanks, CBL. I mean, yeah. What can I say? Look, like, first of all, of course, thanks. I mean, Sibel has been here for a long time as well. She's a rapper, by the way. And I really appreciate your message. Like, you know, it makes me happy. So thanks for being here and hanging around and being part of the community every time. And look, my perspective when I started the channel, right? It's just focused on education and sharing updates. And I had a whole plan. I'm gonna start the channel, a couple of things I focus on, and education takes time. Now, one of the things I really love doing is live streams because I like to answer questions. And Elliott Waves is tricky, takes a lot of time to learn. So if I can explain a thing or two by going live, doing an update, then we have the chat and Q&A sessions afterwards. Hopefully people learn a thing or two, right? And I don't mind taking the time out of my day to help you guys, because in the end, don't forget, like, I'm helping you, but don't forget that everyone watching here is helping me as well, right? It sounds very stupid, but hey, people watch the channel, and if people watch the channel, more people get recommended to the channel, which is how the algorithm works. So more people can get introduced to live streams, more people get introduced to education, the channel grows, more people in the community, more fun, right? So more comments, more questions, etc. So, and of course, as the channel grows, right, just in case you're thinking it and you're like, but he's not saying it, of course the revenue grows because your advertisements revenue from the ads go up. It's very little on YouTube, not gonna lie, but you know, then you have memberships and stuff, of course. But it's focused on education, and there's so much education I share everywhere, completely public. The beginners playlist on YouTube has everything you need to know for theory. You don't need a book. You don't need a website. You only need those videos and you will know all the theory. Now, implementation, that's something else, right? That takes a lot of time. That's why we have the gold membership where I can give feedback. The moment it takes more time, of course, there is something that you know, I expect as well. But it's focused on education. That was the focus from the start. And that's why we are developing the compendium. We're developing a platform now. An educational platform still has to be built. The playlist on YouTube, all the content in Discord, etc. So yeah, I just hope people use it and feel inspired to take the time to learn Elliott Waves. It's one of the best tools out there. It just takes a long time to learn. But yeah, thanks, Sibel. And welcome again. The green name suits you well. I appreciate you joining. Second month, by the way, silver badge. So, yeah. I haven't slept more than 2 hours in a row since 2021. What's your best song? Oh, that must be a question for Sibel. Oh yeah, here. What's your best song, Sibel? Presumed he has a rapper. Sibel actually once made some AI songs for the channel. Good night, Liam. Thanks for popping in. Cheers, daily profits consistently. That's the goal. That's the goal. Hey, Rajat, thanks. Jeroen, how you doing? What's up, man? What's up? What's up? Yo, everyone, it's time for me to call it a day, though. It's 10 p.m. now, and my bed is calling for me. So, and maybe a little bit of food. I might actually be a little hungry. So, yeah, like the night snack just before bed, actually not good, right? You shouldn't really, at least no heavy food. So, okay. I will put the timestamps in the VOD of this live stream when we started the analysis and when I started with the chat and Q&A. So, if you missed the analysis, then you can check it out. It was at the beginning from the very start, so I would guess minute 5 or 6 is where it started. Tomorrow, yeah, I mean, we'll see tomorrow. New content. If price is still in this range and nothing interesting happened, then I will probably have a look at XRP for a video, because that one is next on my list. I think have a look there, or maybe I have more on my list, but XRP generally is voted quite high by people, and many people want to see it. So I'm at least considering making a video about it. As if Bitcoin is not doing anything, then that might be it. Let's see. Chainlink, yeah, like Solana, Chainlink, Pepe, Doge, SUI has been requested quite a lot as well. Yeah. Thanks everyone for being here. Mods as well, Mark, Jeroen, maybe a Band-Aid, Odin, of course Adam from the US as well. Didn't manage to pop in, but no worries. So also, I like how you don't shill exchanges like all these other guys. Gets annoying, like an ad break you can't skip. Yeah, that's one of the things I wrote down in my notebook. I wanted to leave, but I gotta answer this. When I started the channel, right? I have it's in the closet in the living room. But when I started the channel with my little blue notebook, I wrote everything down. And one of the things I wrote down is I will not do in video advertisements like in the middle, because when I see that online, the first thing I try to do is just skip the whole thing, or I just go and click away. It's not, in my opinion, it's not respectful to the viewer. I really dislike it. I can see why people do it, but it's not me. It's not for me. If I would ever do something like that, it would be at the end of a video where people have had all the value anyway. But generally, I don't talk about Blowfin. People know, they can see the description. They know how it works. If you register, then you become an affiliate, and then 0.025%, I think, of the trading fee goes to the creator. You need to trade ridiculous volumes if you really want to earn a thing or two, but that's how it works. So, yeah, but I don't need to shill it or in every content and video, and it's not my style. I'm here to provide value first, and all the other stuff comes second. People know where the subscribe button is, the like button, the membership button, the support by becoming an affiliate button. Like they know. So yeah. I'm glad you enjoy me not shilling stuff. I enjoy that too. Okay. See you later, guys. I will see you again tomorrow.